Last minute sentence completions. What the heck do we do at the beginning of the reading section of the exam? Remember, you have two reading sections that will be given to you, part A and part B. We have to kick booty in part A so that part B is harder. And if that happens, you find part B reading to be harder, then you know you're doing a great job. All right. Sentence completions. Since they begin the exam, we got some basic rules to these guys, right? We want to spend 20 to 30 seconds per question and no more than that. Basically, your easy, medium questions you should own. The harder questions, it might take you a few more extra seconds, maybe 15 more seconds, but that's still plenty of time. I just don't want you hugging questions. Don't hug questions. Remember, you're going to practice so you get to within 20 to 30 seconds per sentence completion question, knowing your order of difficulty. Now, ignore your answer choices. Always use the context clues given to you within the sentence that's given to you, or sentences for that question. Use grammar rules to truly help you. That's why I always say study, get familiar with your grammar rules that have gotten rusty and dusty over time since fifth, sixth grade. These rules come back to haunt you. You're going to plug in your own word that goes into the blank or the word that is underlined, and then always attack your answers from the bottom up. Let's dig right into the sentence completions. I'm going to give you three examples out of seven sentence completion questions that came from this one particular test. I'm only showing you three of the seven questions. We did this in class recently. Now, if you haven't attended class in person and you're interested in knowing more about this or you need the documents, you just text me. I'll give you my number later on in the session. Now, the next question, question number 5, is one of the seven questions, but there's an order of difficulty. If I have seven questions and divided by three, right? Easy, medium, hard, three components, easy, medium, hard. What answer is that going to give us? It's going to be 2 point, let's say 2 1/3, right? So I can't have 1/3 of a question. So which ones are going to be easy? Questions 1 and 2 would be easy. 3, 4, 5 would be medium, and then 6, 7 would be the most difficult. So 5 would be a medium level question, and 7, the very last question, would be difficult. Let's analyze why this would be an easy question. Well, first of all, take a look at the answer choices: ordinary, secretive, important, unpredictable. You guys know those words. If you got stuck on one of the words and you're a little unfamiliar with it, no big deal, but you have a better chance of answering this question correctly. This is a blanket test in the SATs, which means even students who can barely read, let's say they read at the negative 12th grade level, they have to answer some questions correctly. All right, then what's our business? We're going to read the sentence and see if we can get our context clues, because they're going to provide you the answer to the question within the sentence. Some of the words are going to match perfectly with one of the answers given to you. Let's do our business. As Mexico's first president from an indigenous community, comma, who was that first president? Benito Juarez became one of the most blank figures in his country's history. Up to that point, he is the most something. I don't know what. It could be bad or it could be good, but notice this colon. What do colons do? Colons give you additional information as it relates to what came before the colon. If we read carefully, it says, among the many significant accomplishments, stop. Couldn't we just put I'm going to keep it short, significant figures? Became one of the most significant figures in the country's history. Among the many significant accomplishments, yeah. So which answer goes best with significant? Does ordinary go significant? I don't think. Nope, I don't think so. Secretive, does it go significant? Nope, I don't think so. Now, which one is 10 times better? Unpredictable, important. Heck no, A can't be the answer. B must be the answer. Did you see how you can reuse the clue from within a sentence and put it in your blank or the underlined portion? Ding, ding, ding. Let's try a medium level question. What makes this question a little more difficult than the easiest question? Let's take a look at the answer choice. We're just peeking for practice right now. We have the word latent. I'm going to underline it red because I believe most students are not familiar with the word latent. Some students are going to think it means being latent. I mean, being late to a party or to the prom or something like that. But no. And then we have the next word, operative. I'm going to underline that in green. I believe you guys know what operative is. Predetermined, I believe you guys know what it means. And then you have replicable. To replicate, yeah, I think you guys got that also. So what's a medium question like? They might give you a word or two words that are a little off that you're not truly familiar. Maybe you've heard of them before, but you never really thought about their true meanings. But the other thing that they can do is mess around with the sentence structure. So let's take a look at what's going on with the sentences. Within the baleen whale species, all right, within those whales, right? Some individuals develop an accessory spleen. Oh, Hyphen, was a hyphen do? Very similar to a colon. It's going to give you additional information, extra information as it relates to what came before it. What came before it? An accessory spleen. What is that? It could be a definition. What is it? A seemingly functionless formation of splenetic tissue outside the normal spleen. But the most important thing is that it's a functionless formation. It doesn't do anything. It's just an accessory spleen, extra stuff. Continue reading. Now you got the main idea, right? Given the formation's greater prevalence, there's a lot of these suckers among whales known to make deeper dives. What about the rest? Some researchers hypothesize that. Oh, I'm going to stress hypothesize that its role isn't blank. Isn't what? Isn't functionless. Could we just put that in there again? Isn't, I'm going to put FUNX for functionless. Rather, give me some more proof. Rather, the accessory spleen may actively support diving mechanism. Yes, it does rock. But notice they're repeating the clue. On top of that, it says, given the formation's greater prevalence, some researchers hypothesize that it's going to be different than functionless. All right, which is the best answer? We go from the bottom up. Latent, do we keep or kill that answer? If you're not familiar with that word, you got to keep it. Don't kill it because you don't know it. Does operative go with functionless? No, but Mr. Alberto, I get told by students after the semicolon says that it is operative. Yeah, but before the semicolon, because you have the word rather, before it's going to be the opposite of operative. So it cannot be operative. It's got to be functionless, which is not C. Predetermined, does that have anything to do with functionless? I don't think so. What about being able to replicate? No, I don't think so. And without even knowing the word, what it means, boom, D has to be the answer due to what? Process of elimination, POE. Question number 7. Now let's see what a question number 7 looks like. It looks like a dirty dog. It looks nice and short, but take a look at the answer choices. I'm going to underline this word in green because you know you're familiar with unoriginal. But what about nuance? Most students are going to be like, I've heard it before. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's the brand of toothpaste. And then answer choice B, tenuous. What the heck? Tenuous? Does that mean the number 10 has some feelings? And then you have the word disorienting. 2 out of 4 words that you're familiar with and 2 that you're unfamiliar with. So if this is supposed to be the hardest sentence completions, that's meant for those students that go to your schools ranked number 1, 2, or 3 in your school, maybe even in Broward County, maybe even in the state of Florida, the country. Do you really think the easiest words are going to be correct? More than likely, they're going to be incorrect, right? So if I read the sentence and I have no idea what the heck they're saying, because the other thing that can make this question hard is the way they set up the sentences. Sometimes they'll give you wording, you're like, I have no idea what I just read. I read a bunch of English words, but it sounds like spaghetti to me. Then just guess. Now, if you had to guess, I would never guess on A or D. I'd guess on B or C and keep on moving. I'm not going to sit on this question any longer than I have to because I know it's meant for the smartest student. And let's be real. Do you really need a perfect score to get scholarships? I don't think so, yo. It'd be nice to get a perfect score, but we don't care about a perfect score, especially in the state of Florida when you only need a 1210 for 75% bright futures and a 1330 for 100% bright futures. And if those scores change, it's never going to be as high as the 1600 anyhow. So let's go get that free money, yo. Let's read the sentence. The author's claim about the relationship between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens is blank. That's a complete sentence, but notice you got that comma. As it, what is the it? The claim. As the claim fails to account for several recent archaeological discoveries. So the author's claim about the relationship between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens is failing to do stuff because he just explained after comma, as it fails to account. So we could say is failing, not working, just make up anything, not working, or we can say it's weak. Now, you could read the rest to confirm your answer. To be convincing, his argument would need to address recent findings. Da, da, da. All right, to be convincing, to be stronger, right? Because right now it's weak, it's not convincing. Yes, it still works. So from with your answers from the bottom up, does unoriginal go with failing, not working, or weak? Nope. Does nuance? Oh, I don't know what it means. So don't cross it out. If you're not familiar with what it is, then keep it. It's in play. Tenuous. Don't know what it is? Keep it in play. What about disorienting? Has nothing to do with failing, not working, or weak. So it's got to be between those two answers. Now, the high GPA student, what I'd like to do, they like to think about it a little bit longer. Us, let's say we're average 2.5 GPA students. whom I love because once you show them test taking technique, they're like, please show me some more. What if you guessed on B? You would be correct. But what if you guessed on C? Be incorrect. But at this moment, if you're at home and you see this and you're unfamiliar with any of these words that you see on the screen, like for example, latent up here and nuance and tenuous, then what you should do is take your handy dandy phone and then look up the synonym to each of those words and then jot it down on the side. And that's the way you get words to stick in your head. That's a method that's worked for my students and future students that she'll work with also. And I'll tell you what, back in the old SAT, the sentence completions were much more devious. They used a lot of unfamiliar words. And now there is a list of 1,500 words that I've got from back in the day, but I'm not going to feed those to you because the proportion of the number of questions that you will see that deal with sentence completions is very small compared to what you need to know, which would be grammar. I'd rather you focus more on grammar than focusing on memorizing vocabulary, like some teachers have told students. All right, so let me recap. You have a method of attacking sentence completions. You actively almost whisper the sentences so that you can hear it better during the test. Don't just read the sentences with your lips locked. Whisper them to almost to the point of whispering, where the proctor might come to you and say, hey, I can hear you. Plug in your own word. Never plug in each answer to hear how each answer sounds. It's a wrong thing to do. What did we do? We read and then we plugged in our own word, but we're usually reusing clues from the sentence. And then you attack your answers from the bottom up. Eliminate any answers that don't match your word. And if you're stuck between two answers, please guess and go. You can always come back. All right, the strongest or the best suggestion I can give you when you're preparing for sentence completions to do a better job, because I just had some students take a practice test, and there's some students that were very good with the vocab, and there were some students that were really hurting, but they were great in grammar. All right, I loved that they're great in grammar, so I gave them this final suggestion. If you quiz yourself on sentence completions, I'm going to show you 5 questions in the order that's given in one of the practice tests. We know question number 1 is going to be the easiest. Let me just mark that right there. And we know question number 5 would be the hardest. I'm sure you can see that on screen. So what's question number 2 going to be? Like easy, medium. What's question 4 going to be? Medium, hard. And what's question number 3? Medium. You guys got that? So question number 1 is easy. Question number 2 is like easy, medium. Question number 3 would be medium. Question number 4 would be medium, hard. And then question number 5 would be hard. That's question number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's how it'd work. Now, if we take a look at question number 1, the words sketch, amount, evidence, and blemish. Are you familiar with each of those? Yes, of course, because it's question number 1. Let's take a look at question number 5's answer choices and see what they look like. Postulate. A lot of students would be unfamiliar with that word. They've heard it before, but they're not too familiar with it. What about rationalize? I think most students would be familiar with that. And then you have ameliorate. Not too sure. And then you have the word sanction. I see that's like 50-50. Half students would know and the other half would not know. Let's go to question number 4's answer choices and let's take a look at what they're doing here. The word exploited. Yeah, I believe most students would be familiar with it. Redefined, discounted, hypothesized. 4 pretty easy words, right? But this question is a medium hard question, meaning a lot of students answered incorrectly. So when we find these 4 easy words, what does it mean about this type of question? The sentences are going to be a little messed up. They're going to be a little confusing for students. That's what makes this question a medium hard question. The words are okay. It's just the sentence structure is going to be off, so you should expect it. Compared to question number 5, they gave you about 2.5 funky words, so more than likely, C is not going to be the right answer to this one. The sentence structures will be easy to understand, whereas question number 4, the sentence structure is going to be kind of funky. All right, question number 3, this is a true medium level question, right in the middle. Now take a look at the answer choices. Now, I believe a lot of students would be a little unfamiliar with perpetual, innocuous, and then you have impending, you have antecedent. Or maybe I should do that half and half, half and half. Medium level question means about 50% of the student population answered this question incorrectly and 50% answered incorrectly. Part of it could be from guessing. But if we see these words, again, it's in the middle. I would bet money if I read the sentence and it was written in Chinese hieroglyphics, I'm going to go with either C or D and not choose A or B. But if I could see the sentence, I'll make a better choice. Now let's compare it to question number 2, which would be an easy medium question. The word sophisticated, you guys got it. Common, definitely. Fragile, recognizable. Ha! So what does that mean? Our business, if we were given 5 sentence completion questions, I definitely want to nail question number 1 without making a careless error. I definitely want to nail question number 2. I definitely want to nail the medium level question. That's my bread and butter. 1, 2, and 3 out of 5 questions. And then 4 and 5, it's going to be a 50-50 shot if I answer question number 4 correctly, because I might be able to eliminate a couple of answers based on the sentence. But question number 5, I'll probably get ripped apart. But that's okay. I'm expecting to, because that's meant for the best student in the school. And if you happen to be a 4.999 weighted, unweighted student, and you're like, I'm being challenged, question number 5, don't take the challenge. If you're stuck, guess, get out, and move. I want you to get straight into grammar. All right, for fun, let's take a look at the sentences. Let me get rid of this. Whoop. Here we go. Question number 1. You can pause the video, try this out for 20 seconds. Go. And welcome back after 20 seconds. Oh, you didn't pause. Here, pause it for 20 seconds. Try it out. And welcome back. When you're going to read this, we already know our answer choices are going to be easy. So read carefully. This is a little bit different because they're not giving you a blank. The following text is from 1913 story, The King's Coin by Emily. Whatever writer, also known as Tekawonka, Foxtrot, a young Ojibwe man is guiding a group of fur traders who are traveling by canoe and suspects that they are being followed. Dun dun dun. All right, besides all funky names, I'm trying to follow the flow of the sentences like I'm watching a movie. And as I'm reading this, I'm almost whispering it to myself so I can hear it better, all right? I don't want you being super silent with your lips locked. Whisper it. Everything in the reading section should be done the same way. At supper time, Foxtrot would allow no fire to be built, no landing to be made, no trace of their passing to be left. They ate canned meat and marmalade, drank again of the stream, and pushed on until just at dusk they reached the edge of a long, still lake with shores of granite and fir. What is it? Fir forest. You guys got that? All right. So the question is going to be laid out as such. As used in the text, what does the word trace most nearly mean? Well, what word did you put in place of trace? No evidence, no signs. Oh, luckily I came up with the stupid word. So from the bottom up, even though you see it, check out the other words because the question or the instructions are to choose the best answer. Sketch, does that go with trace, evidence, or signs? No. Amount, does it go evidence or signs? No. Blemish? No. So A is the best answer. Yes, it's question number 1. Did you have to do all that work? No. But the discipline of doing that work will go a long way for the harder questions. Let's go to the next one. Question number 2. Some of you guys might be saying, hey, Mr. Alberto, I don't have this on the sheet that you gave me. No, you have the first 3 questions, but these, I just decided to just implement them for the video so you guys can learn a little bit more. All right, let's take a look at the actual sentence for question number 2, which we know is going to be easy, medium. Whoop. Many ancient sculptures of people's heads are missing their noses. Oh, snap. In my mind, I see a bunch of sculptures with no noses. Next sentence. This, what is this referring to? That's a pronoun. What? The sculptures with the missing noses. This is because the nose is the most blank part of a sculpture of a person's head. Oh, please tell me some more. The next sentence. It is delicate and sticks out from the rest of the sculpture. What is the it? The nose. What is it? The nose is delicate. So couldn't we just, I'm going to put Delic, deli, delicate. So which answer goes to delicate? Does sophisticated? No. Does common? No. Does fragile or recognizable do? Which one is the best of the two? Whoop, fragile is the best answer. That was easy. But the method works for the harder questions. But if you practice it with easy mediums, you guarantee to get the right answer. And plus, it's not stealing time from you doing your work for this test. Let's take a look at question number 3, which is a true medium. Remember, we took a look at the answer choice. It's going to be a little dicey. Let's get busy. KD and colleagues found that the sun's corona provides an advanced indication. That's the big deal. An advanced indication of solar flares. That's a complete sentence. We could have put a period right there, but the author decided to do what? Put a hyphen or a colon. Doesn't matter. It's the same thing. They're going to give you an explanation or a definition of what came before. What is that evidence of an advanced indication, providing an advanced indication of solar flares? What are they? Oh, they're intense eruptions of electromagnetic radiation that emanates from active regions in the sun's photosphere and can a lot of bliggity blah. But what is it? Intense eruptions. That's it. Of flares. Intense eruptions of flares. That's the advanced indication. Next sentence. Preceding a flare, the corona temporarily exhibits increased brightness above the region where the flare is. Didn't they repeat that? That's a repeat. Where the flare is coming from. I guess coming from. About to hit or just coming. Where the flare is coming. Now, from the bottom up, perpetual. Does that go with coming? No. What about innocuous? No, we don't know because those 2 words are unfamiliar. What about impending? Impending seems like it's around the corner coming. I'm going to keep answer choice B. That sounds great. And then antecedent. That means that's related to a word that came after it. Is that what we're dealing with here? No. So therefore, B, C, or D? If I know this is a medium level question, then more than likely it'll be a medium type of word. B is the best answer. What? Order of difficulty, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it will work. Innocuous and perpetual, they're not going to slam you that hard for a medium level question. Let's move on through medium hard. Now you get the game. All right, medium hard. Boop. To demonstrate that the integrity of the underground metal pipes can be assessed again to demonstrate that the integrity of the underground metal pipes can be assessed without unearthing the pipes. Please tell me who is doing this demonstration, comma, engineer Aroba and colleagues blanked the tendency of some metals' internal magnetic fields to alter under stress. What goes in that blank? Remember the colon rule? What comes after? It's going to be a definition of what came before extra information or description. The team did what? The team showed. What did the engineer, Roba, and the colleagues do? They showed, see, I repeat it, they showed the tendency of some metals' internal magnetic fields to alter under stress. Colon, explain that to me. The team showed that such alterations can be measured from a distance and can reveal concentrations of stress in the pipes. Ooh, ooh. All right, so which one's going to be the best answer? Now, notice the word exploited. Exploited is usually thought of as being negative, but exploit is to show off big time, right? I think I'll keep that as showed. What about redefined? Is showing or the team showed, is that redefining or redefining? No, we're not redefining, nor are we redefining. What about discounted? Does that go with showed? No. Hypothesize. Why do we attack our answers from the bottom up? Because from the top down, they like to give you bait. Which one is 10 times better? Hypothesized or exploited? Exploited is to show big time, and hypothesize is to give like a theoretical, close to theory. No, so A is not the best answer. D would be our best answer without being too familiar with the words that are given to us. But let's go down to the last question, which is supposed to be the hardest question. Dun, 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 redefined it. Sounded like my mom. Oh, that tasted it good. All right, ready. Question number 5. Despite the generalizations about human behavior that they have produced, we good so far, right? Despite, even though we had these generalizations about human behavior, comma, now the main sentence, many studies of behavioral psychology have used highly unrepresentative subject pools. That is a complete sentence. I could put a period right there. But hopefully you're reading and trying to follow the movie of the story. That's why I want you guys to mouth it, almost to the point of whispering. Despite the generalizations about human behavior they have produced, all right, it looks like they came with a lot of stuff about human behavior. Many studies of behavioral psychology have used highly unrepresentative subject pools. Dang, even though they had a lot of stuff, it's still highly unrepresentative. That's not good. Then we've got the what? The colon. Please tell me some more about that highly unrepresentative subject pool matter. Next sentence. Students at the colleges and universities where the researchers are employed. Oh, that's the highly unrepresented subject pool. So they use only students at the college and universities where the researchers are employed. So is that a good representative subject or group about behavioral psychology? Not good enough. So the next sentence, what do we have? To blank this situation. See the word this again? What is this situation? The highly unrepresentative subject pools using students from colleges and universities. Now, to blank this situation, it is necessary to actively recruit subjects from diverse backgrounds and locations. Oh, what's the relationship? Couldn't we just say to fix this situation? That's it, guys. That's like reading comprehension, but they're using vocabulary. We know it's the last sentence. The sentence structure is a bit more complex than previous sentences. And then they also give us these funky words. So, what will most students go for? That's what you guys want to avoid. Now we work our answers from the bottom up. Postulate. Is it to postulate the situation or to fix the situation? Yes, it's to fix it. To postulate it, what if you're not familiar with the word? You're going to have to keep it open. What about rationalize? To rationalize the situation, to make it make sense? Is that the problem that it doesn't make sense? No, rationalize would not make sense for this answer. It wouldn't rationalize as the best answer. Now we have ameliorate, and you're like, dang, I don't know what that means. Got to keep it open. And then sanction. Now, some folks are familiar with the word sanction. You can give authority to do something, that's sanctioning something, to sanction like the championship bout is going to take place in Australia, or you could sanction a company by telling them that they have fines and stuff. But if you're unfamiliar with three of the answer choices, ladies and gentlemen, we know this is supposed to be a hard question. We understand the sentence, but they gave us three funky words. Then guess and get out. Is the answer choice going to be A? No, it's wrong. Is it going to be D? No, it'd be wrong, but it certainly would be B, ameliorate, which means pretty much to fix it, to make better. Hoo, hoo. All right, what did I say before? To get better with vocab, all you have to do is grab your phone, look up the synonym, Google synonym, ameliorate, Google synonym, postulate, Google synonym, sanction. Now, the next time you do a grammar drill, I'm sorry, a sentence completion drill, look up the words first, write the synonyms, and then time yourself question to question and do your business. And remember, never hug questions. Once you're stuck, you're stuck. Guess and get out of Dodge. All right. If you want to copy the document that I gone over, especially for you guys in class, because those extra 5 questions are not in there, or you want additional questions, just contact me, text me, and say, what's up? Please send me some more sentence completions S/C. I'll understand what you're talking about. If I have any questions, I'll just text you back. It'd be a good idea to what do you call it? Subscribe to the page because if I come up with any extra information, any additional drills, I'll shoot them over to you, and you'll be notified when they go live. All right, peace out. Catch you later, alligator.